A lot of youth in the world today actually think that going to school is a waste of time. Why? Because at the end of the day, they just have to pack their diplomas and their certificates on the shelves without having any job to do. On that note, I welcome you to the Daily Trend Francophone edition on New World TV Info English. My name is Lydia, and today we are going to be looking at unemployment, the causes, the effect, and some of the solutions. But to start with, I'd like to say that, in my opinion, I think that unemployment is whereby somebody goes to school and after schooling has a certificate or has his diploma but doesn't get a job to do. That is unemployment. Tanawe, what do you think?
Unemployment, for me, I can say those are available to get a job and they are actively seeking for the job and they don't find the job. Among them are also the workforces, those working for the company and are waiting for an appropriate job.
Okay, unemployment can be defined as the fact of looking for a small job, even if a small job, to take care of oneself without finding it. So
you
simply like that, yeah.
You mean that only a small job, or if you say a small job, it means that even though you have, for example, when we take the teachers, so those are teaching for the private school.
What I just mean is there is no small job. Any job that you can do and allow you to take care of yourself and your family is a job anyway, or a work. So it's just what I simply mean.
Okay, on that note, there are also some people that actually say that they went to school to study medicine. Mm-hmm. They don't get a job in the medical domain. So they're not getting a job in the medical domain, but they have a job in a different domain. Yeah. To them, they are still unemployed because they are not yet doing what they actually want to do. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Is that also unemployment?
It can be, unemployment is not a matter of, it's not something that have unilateral definition. Anyone can define it as the way he feel like. So everyone define it as the way he feel to define it.
I understand your definition, but me, I don't agree for what you are saying that a simple job, you have to get something in order to provide your needs or anything. If you have to say that, we can say all Togolese have a job actually. Because all Togolese, many persons have something to do in order to get his meat.
Exactly.
Daily
Are
meat.
you sure?
But yeah,
Are you sure of what you are meaning?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We have to know that when we take an example, those who are teaching there at the end of the school years, many persons get something to do. Something to
there
do.
Are some people who don't find
Yes,
make sure of what you are saying.
Don't find. But the thing is that today you can see that everybody sells something, whether it is going to the market to sell or selling online or something.
So Lydia,
everybody is
give
doing
us an
something.
example of what you are doing as actually you get your average or graduation certificates and
As for me, fortunately for me, I am not yet in the unemployment zone because I've not graduated from school. Okay. But since I'm in school, my school has an advantage. They give us allowances, so that is a plus for me. So going to school alone, I get an allowance, so I'm not yet in the unemployment zone. After I finish school, I'm now out of collecting that allowance. Then now we can talk about I'm unemployed. What am I now doing as a small job? So I think that brings us to what are some of the causes of unemployment? What makes people unemployed today? What do you think?
Unemployment, when we take the causes since the statistics since 1991 to 2020, we have that we can notice that the more the population grow, the rate of unemployment also grow. And we notice many causes.
Exactly.
Among them, I can also mention the voluntary unemployment. Those who are leaving their office, they are leaving their job because they are not satisfied, perhaps because of the salary, others because of I can say also they are not enjoy the job they are doing.
The job conditions.
Don't enjoy.
They are not.
When you take the example, those who are going to school to do FASEC, and at the end of meaning you become a teacher, but you are waiting to become somebody who work in the bank. and now you become a teacher.
So
you will never be agree. You will never be happy when even though you are doing that job, you are not happy to do it
because it's not what you want to come and do.
It's not. Yeah. I think that for this I'm not okay, because if you are someone, perhaps you don't have any job and you need to win money to take care of yourself. I don't think the job, even if it's a smaller one that you get, will make you be unhappy just because it's not what you are expecting for.
Let me tell you that not only you have to work. If you are doing something, you have to do something, and your head also be free.
Like be happy of
you have to be happy in your work also. If you are doing something, you are not happy, you don't feel, you don't like the things. The manner that you are doing it is different than the person who are doing that job. When we take an example of our producer tell us one day, he was dreaming to become a journalist one day. And today he become a journalist, and he is very happy, and he loved that job also. If today he become a teacher,
what you are saying, that is he the one who told you that he's happy of what he's doing? Don't say something that you are not sure of.
Let me tell you, I said that our producer tell us. So I remember when we started our training, he tell us one day that he was dreaming to become a journalist one day, and today he become a journalist. He's happy, and he doing it with all his heart.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, in this situation, I think there is something as well. There are people that they don't have the job that they want to do, and they are not happy with it. And there are people that don't have the job that they don't want to do, but at the end of the day, they just go with it, because these two people are in different situations. Maybe someone who has a job that he's not happy with is in a situation whereby he's staying on his own, he's living on his own, he only has him or herself to provide for. So if you're providing for only yourself, then that means that if you don't like the job, you can complain about it. But if it's like a mother or a dad or someone who has other people to take care of, you don't have that luxury of complaining that this job, I don't like it, or this job, like, because you need a source of income. Exactly. And there's also another cause of unemployment, which is the fact that today the youths that are in schools are lazy.
They
are lazy, exactly. Because they are waiting for, okay, I'll go to school, and then when I'm finished with school, government is going to give me a job. So if government is going to give me a job, then why then do I need to specialize my skills or sharpen my skills in order to look for a job afterwards? Exactly. I don't need to look for a job,
and that very cause can lead to the fact that youth nowadays are not well trained or don't get experience that are expected to get the job they want to.
The laziness also are caused by what our parents or give us when we started. Because when I take my example, when I was a child, I would go to primary school. My mom tell me that I have to go school. And after getting my certificates, I will go to work in a big company or become a big authority. That is my dream. And I continue. I work very hard to become a great person. And at the end of my school, I am waiting to become what my mom tell me to become. They have to tell us not to
preconceived notion that you are going to get a big job. Yeah. But there is also this situation about those who go to technical schools. Those who go to technical schools, they have the skills. You can't say they don't have skills or experience to do their job, but they also come out and they are unemployed. So as for in that situation, what do you think is the cause? First of all, personally, I think that they do not have enough money. For example, if someone is a hairdresser, she braids hair. She has finished learning. But before she now braids hair for people or have her own shop, she needs money to get the shop, to get the tools and equipment and everything she needs in order to be able to like do the job very well. So if she doesn't have these tools, the only thing she'll be doing is maybe braiding cornrow for people in her house or something. And it's also a form of unemployment. She knows the job, she has the skill, but she doesn't have the capital or the funds in order to do that job.
For this one, I think there are how do you call it? Institutions which are lacking in our societies. Like normally there should be institutions which will allow us or provide us with what we need to make something or to do something.
To start with something. Exactly. So, and I think also as well, Tana, we want to say something.
I can also add saying that others do it because they do it involuntary. Because somebody said that to me, I know how to do this. And in order that no one can tell me that you don't know, I become those who wear the dress, those who make the dress. Many patients get just training to do, but they don't apply it. They just learn how to do it, but
just
at
because
the end
like
of the learning, they don't apply it because they have an ability.
Like,
they don't apply it. When you finish learning something, you have to apply it. Mm-hmm. And many patients today, not only because of the causes of money, but others have money. But how they have to start doing it, they don't do it. They do it involuntary. Somebody, perhaps the parents or mom or dad tell him, go to learn how to do dress. And he go. You
so
do
when
it.
you finish
but
it's like, I don't want to do it.
In deeper of his head, he don't like that job. Not only I went to sit at the house all the time, go to learn something. And when you finish learning this, you can't go to apply it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can add also that to say that the another causes of unemployment is also the frictional or structural unemployment. Structural unemployment, I mean those who are learning something or getting some degree in a particular domain, and in the area they don't find the job. They have to travel. Perhaps you have to travel outside your country or outside your area before starting working.
Exactly. So it's like they've taken a course that they can't find that particular job in their country.
Job in the country, they have to travel before.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So it's like that with that thing, I think we'll come back to it in the solutions as to what people can do. Okay. But there's also another cause of unemployment, which is favoritism.
Exactly.
This favoritism problem is kind of like, let's say, is the synonym for corruption in this area, because we can say that someone goes to school in a private school and someone else goes in a public school. They both did the same courses, but if they come to pick people for job internships or something, they go straight to the private sector and pick those who went to school there. So it's like, we those who don't have money and went to school in the public universities, like, it's like, should we go to university or we should just stop? Like, don't go at all, because at the end of the day, they're going to pick someone from the private sector over you. Unless the people over there finish.
I mean, like those who are going through private schools, sometimes it's happened that due to the fact that they are paying too much for their school fees and other thing, at the end of the year or after schooling, getting their degrees and graduation, we all know that those who are going to those schools are those who have like parents that are rich, not forcefully rich, but have the means to send them there. Exactly. So after that, they go to outside country to study and come back, take the job of those who are in the country training themselves for the jobs but are not getting.
Exactly, because managers always prefer those who have had like maybe some experience in comparison to those who have no experience. So those in these situations definitely have much more experience than those who are in our public schools just in the country over here. So since this experience matter is different, it's like, okay, so I'll take one with more experience. But also, if your mother or your brother or your auntie doesn't know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody in somewhere, then I'm sorry, you
some society or I don't know company like family company. Exactly. You will see the brothers, the sisters, the father, even the mom. So it's
exactly
the one system also. We have one system in our country today. Many persons are thinking that when you go to private school, you get more chance to get an employment than those who are going to public school. For me, I don't understand the real meaning of that.
Anyway, let's go to a quick break. Welcome, lovely viewers, to this show. I think before continuing with the effects and the solutions, Mr. Tanawe was making a point. So let him continue.
I was saying that nowadays many persons are thinking that going to private school, they have many things to get an employment or to get a job than those who are going to public school. And this subject become very worrying for many persons. Many persons are worried about it because many persons don't have money to go to private school. We have the private school in our country who the fees are more than 1 million. And many persons are struggling to become or give the school or the chance in the private school because they are thinking that after the certificate or a degree, that the sons can get automatically a job. Is that a fact?
For that, I think it's something that we have also in mind. If I know many people who goes to official schools but became someone, not forcefully that they went to private schools before getting achieving to what they achieve. So it's something like we may try to revise and try to work hard in official schools that maybe perhaps your parents don't have means to send you in private. So you have to do what you have.
Exactly.
And continue to fight with that.
And one last course before we move on to the effect is that today we see the number of students that are graduating from school every year and see the number of companies, especially in this our country, Togo. The number of companies and the number of students graduating every year, there is like a very large imbalance over there. So in this case, it's obvious that not everybody will be able to get an employment. But now, since the youth of the country are not being able to get employment, what is now the effect? The effect of this unemployment on both the youth and then the economic sector as well. But first of all, before we continue, I know that to the managers, we have positive effects of unemployment because it benefits the managers of large companies. Because these managers are like, they have a lot of people to choose from if they want someone for a particular post. And they want to put someone at that particular post, they don't necessarily need to pay you a high amount of money. Because they know you grab any simple, small amount of money, any position, so that you can also tell your friends, I have a job.
Yeah, exactly. There are some people who, like, they work for a company, but they do at the same time many jobs in that very company, but are not paid for the other job that they are doing. That
exactly, the extra jobs.
Yeah, extra job, but they are not paid for that.
So it's like you go to work, maybe you are a manager doing something, but then at the same time you are an assistant in a different department, but you only get paid a manager's salary
for one job,
and you don't get paid for the overtime.
If I understand better, you want to mean those who are in between jobs, they are doing many jobs at the same time.
Yeah, but not like in different places. They are doing many jobs, but in the same company.
In the same company, they have many posts, many offices.
But because it's kind of like, let me use the word, excuse me to say, stingy managers. They don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay different people for different kinds of jobs. So at the end of the day, the workload is on you. So that's the main effect, that you are overworking, but you're not getting paid for the kind of work you are doing. Okay. Yes, that's the thing.
For the effects, I think there is stress which come to the person because I'm not getting the job. So forcefully I will be stressed. I have my family who all the time tell me, oh, you went to school, you get your certificate, but what are you doing now? You are at home, we are still feeding you and you are good for nothing. So it's something that stress much.
Psychological stress on people, yes. Wanted to
not only a stress, but you have also the poverty.
Poverty, exactly.
Anybody can agree with me here that if you don't have nothing to do, you have to be poor. Because you have to work before getting money. If you don't work, since the money you are at house, you don't have nothing to do.
Nobody even won't respect you because some people, I know some people, I'm really talking about real facts. Yeah. Like they just look nice, wear nice things and get out from house like they are going to work, but they are not going to work just because of the environment pressure.
The pressure from
people. Everyone will be looking at you as you are a loser. Exactly. So
and in the morning when anybody leave the house, they are looking at you that you are a lazy boy or you are
exactly
useless.
But there's one thing that I would actually disagree with you on. You said everybody is going to agree with you that if you don't have any job to do,
Yeah.
you are poor. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
Some people do have rich parents, they have trust funds waiting for them. So even if they decide not to work for the rest of their lives, like they are settled, they have money to take
Me,
care of them.
I'm talking about my country.
But there are
I'm
rich people in your
country.
country
I'm
that have
talking
provisions
about
for
my
their
country.
kids.
Here in Togo, if you don't have nothing to do, don't wait till nothing also.
Okay,
If
meaning
you-
that you come from a nothing family. Let's say you come from a family that they can't provide for your whole life. You have to work for it. So in this case, if you come from that kind of family, then we can agree with you that if you don't work, you won't get money.
He didn't even take account of those who are not working, but there are some parents who are taking just care of them. You didn't take
you mean
into
that
account
the
that
person, somebody take care of you
Yeah.
and they give you money.
That one
That
is-
not,
it
we
don't-
can
it
get
doesn't
money,
mean
but
that
you will
you
be
are-
stressed. You will be stressed because you don't. It's not your
It
the
doesn't
effort
mean-
or the result of
It
your
depends
effort.
It doesn't
on the
mean that you
emotional
are-
raising of
No.
everybody.
Let me take an example. You, as you are there, and you get married, and your father continue to give you money. Will be you. You will be.
Me personally,
Yeah.
I won't be comfortable. But there are some people, they don't have that kind of like
Yeah.
conscience to prompt them that okay, someone is giving money, I'm not working, so like let me go find something to do instead of sponging off somebody else. But I think that also brings about another effect. It brings about laziness. Because in countries or in places whereby people know that even if I don't have a job, government is giving me an allowance. Or let's say, for example, in my school, government gives allowances. It's not going. People are not going to learn to graduate. They are going to be like, let me just fill one more subject because next year government will give me money again. Because you know they make you get out into the real world. No more salary for you. No more government allowance
But
for you.
you
You have
agree
to
with
find
me
a
that
job.
if you don't have nothing to do, you need money.
Exactly. Everybody needs money. So it
You need
depends
money,
on
but
how
you have
get it from.
Anyway, it's not a debate, so let's try to mention the other effects of unemployment.
We have also the homeless. The homeless.
Homelessness.
If you don't
Explain,
have
yeah.
homeless, you don't have a house because you need to get a job, a good job, not what the workforce is. Those are working for the company and you get only 35,000 at the end of month, and you are waiting to become a big
You say
boss or
homeless
for that.
mean not being in a house or not getting a house. So
I-
what about me who is not working but I'm still in my parents' house, or perhaps I'm married, so I'm in my husband's house. So
Yeah.
I'm not homeless.
You are not homeless.
Yeah.
But are you an unemployed person?
No.
I think that's where the funny question comes.
If you are
because
we define the unemployment that those who are available to get a work and actively seeking for the work and they don't find a job.
so
If
meaning those
you
who are
are
not looking
an
for a job,
unemployed
it means
person,
they don't need a job because they already have
if you
money
are
coming
married
from
and you
somewhere.
don't-
Perhaps I'm at home, I'm taking care of my
You take
children. This one also can be called as job, or I don't know. Right?
I think this one
we
is
can't
a plan
count
the
you
family
between the
actually
unemployed
made.
person because we needed the unemployed person, those who are seeking for the work. If you get your certificate or you get your job and you are at house, you leave during the money you did, but I get my back, I get my certificate, but you are there, you don't looking for the work. The work will never come by the heaven and you took it. We have to take it before.
Exactly. So according to what you said, that the work wouldn't come to you, you have to make the effort.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to help us. What are some of the solutions that can help us avoid unemployment? Because number one, we see today in today's world, we have like IT development.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go now is IT, and if you go for job interviews, they ask you, what do you know how to do? They don't ask you like what certificate you have or in what do you have your certificate. They rather ask you what do you know how to do. So
Yeah, experiences.
as far as you're unemployed, what you do is use that time. You have a free time.
Yeah.
So use that time to develop your skills in maybe some IT skills or some basic like IT techniques and stuff like that to add to your CV, so that now when you're going to look for a job, it's not like you don't have an experience. You also have something to add with. Because let's say you're doing like graphic design. You don't necessarily need to work in a company before being able to work. So you can just like build your portfolio by doing contracts for people, little things for people. It's also experience. So now if they ask you, you can tell them, oh, I do have 6 months experience, so I have 1 year experience because I've been doing this for people.
Exactly. In this world, it's like that. Like technology is going like developing, so we have to go with it. We have to make sure we like train ourselves with that technology that is going on. So, mentioning the solution, did you know that there are institutions in which when you are unemployed, normally you should go and sign that I want this job. I'm expecting to go work here, but I'm jobless, I'm not working. So you have to sign for the government to know that you are unemployed, so that when somebody will be calling for someone who know or has your abilities or I don't know,
so that's like employment agencies.
Yeah.
But do we have some in Togo right
Yeah,
now?
we have it.
Okay.
But many persons in Togo doesn't know that there is something like
Exactly.
this. Because
Even
when we
me,
take
I
the
didn't
statistic,
know.
let's when we take the statistics since the 1991 to 2021,
Yes.
we have the rate of unemployment is 4.5%. The rate of unemployment. But when we look,
It's just because people
around
didn't know that there are institutions like that. Let's take you and I, our example. Did you know that before?
Okay,
You
that was
didn't
a
know
new
that. So
information,
how
yes.
can I go to something that I don't know and sign?
So
that?
it has to be actually publicized
And for
to
that,
the public.
what is the inconvenience is that, like, you have to get your license, I mean your BA, before going to those institutions. What about you and I who are still schooling and didn't finish?
Exactly.
So I can't sign anything for them to know that I'm unemployed. It's because of that we have these rates telling us that the rate of unemployment in Togo is 4.5.
4.05 as
It's
of
just
2020.
yeah,
exactly.
it made me laugh.
So, talking about the solutions, there is also something. We also need to change the mentality of the youth today. Because you see, most youth, especially Togolese youth, their main focus is when I finish school, I want to go work in a company. I want to go work in this company. I want to go work in this person's office. And this is a kind of mental. It's like, if I don't get a job in that person's office, then I'm jobless, or like they no more know what to do. So they have to change their mentality, being that, okay, if you are doing graphic design, you want to go work at a particular company, for example, not necessarily wait for yourself to go and work there. You can actually establish a company of your own. Graphic design is not something that you need money for or something, because you already have your laptop or something that you use for graphic design. So you just do it for people. If there are other people that want to help you, like, you just group yourselves and be doing, like, give yourselves a name. It's a little company, even if it is from somebody's one room apartment or it's from somebody's veranda or sitting room. The thing is, you have your computer with you, you are working.
And also have to add, I went just to the link what we are just not said. We have also to create our own job. Not only because I go to school and get a certificate, I have a degree that all time I'm waiting for a government to give me an unemployment, as we are thinking it since the past. We have to create our own job.
For this one, I'm okay with him because, there are some people in university especially who are still studying and doing some small job to take care of themselves. So you don't need to be there waiting for somebody to do it for you. Why not be selling small thing? Or you have to start somewhere before going to somewhere. You can't just wake up like this and get the employee that you are expecting for. It's not possible.
I meet some meetings somewhere. The person wrote 1 foot at school, 1 foot at business.
Exactly, 1 foot in school.
One
because
foot
we see
at
on
school,
campus
1
today
foot
that
at
a lot of
business.
people come and sell. Even if they are coming to classes, they have things in their bag. They know that, okay, people need snacks to eat and stuff. They sell. Some people, they bring maybe clothing or something to come and sell. And this is like business-minded people. But in this situation, since the situation is like this, we've seen the effects. We've seen some of the solutions. So what do you think your advice would be to the youth today?
My advice to the youth today will be just like, don't wait for the government to do it for you. Somebody says, don't ask, how do you call it? Let me find my words.
Don't wait for it to be served to you on a silver platter.
Exactly. Don't wait for the government to do it for you. Ask what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you. So it is my advice for the youth to try something, to do his best, to do something small thing to come somewhere. So
I can say that our viewers have to think that to create their own jobs. Create own job in a smart way. If somebody create a job of dress shop. You too, you have to give the wooding. Others, many things. Don't do the same thing with your brothers has done. You have to do something different and bring job more and more.
So on that note, I think that the youth have to be inventive and they have to be creative in order for them to be able to succeed in this period of unemployment.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good advice that the youth today are supposed to be able to keep. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Trend Francophone edition on New World TV Info English. My name is Lydia, and you can catch a repeat on Sundays at 7:15 p.m. But this show is aired every Friday at 12:15 p.m. and at 7:15 p.m. Our media handles on YouTube on the Daily Trend playlist on New World TV channel, and on Facebook, The Daily Trend at The Daily Trend TDT. Thanks for staying with us. See you next time.